There we go. That should be good. How about now? Okay, now we're good. All right. There you go. Yeah, I don't know why it keeps changing that. Like, I usually have my microphone is set right underneath my camera. It's a boom style mic, which I want it like right here, but it's gonna look goofy in the camera angle. But we might end up switching cameras and everything down the road. I don't really know what I'm gonna do, because really I want to utilize this beast because I bought it specifically for this purpose, and I haven't gotten around to using it yet. Like, I've used it a handful of times for some reviews, and it turns out pretty well. But it's just, it's okay. What's up, non-fan? How's it going? So we are actually triple streaming right now. So we're streaming on YouTube, we're streaming on my Facebook group, and we're also streaming on Twitch for the first time ever. I've had a Twitch account. I've never used it. I hope it's streaming to Twitch. I don't even know how to check that. But I figured, hey, let's give it a go for tonight and see, if it works. I don't even know if it works.
Oh my lord.
Let's see. Notification. You have earned new emotes. Okay. My channel. Name of the game. Okay. 2 minutes ago, I'm guessing. That it went up. I'm guessing. Hey, what's up? For those who are on Facebook, if you guys can, right above the video, there's a link that if you click on that link, it'll allow anybody who uses StreamYard to see your actual posted name from Facebook. So right now it just shows me Facebook user says hi. Then a Facebook user says, what is today's topic? So that could be two different people. It could be the same person. I won't know unless I open it up on Facebook and I actually look at it. So that's the only way that I'll know. So it looks like we are streaming on Twitch. What's the topic for today? I really don't know. I do mostly resin printing, but obviously, we do have some FDM printers. I have this lovely machine that we're checking out right now. This is the new BQ-B1 SE Plus. It's a mouthful. They just sent that to us. We did an unboxing live on the YouTube channel and everything else. And yeah, basically we went from there. So I haven't had anything print except for the 2 test prints. So I thought maybe it's not a leveled bed, but it is. The bed is perfectly level as far as I can tell. And then I found out that there was an issue with the ABL sensor being super sensitive. What I mean by that is, like, if I go and I auto level this and I touch this Bowden tube, doesn't even have to be touching the wiring or anything like that, it will trigger the ABL. So it's not good for people who like to check on things and make sure that it's good, which is also problematic because if you have something going on with your printer, then we will have an issue with that model later on. So what's up, Matt? I do have this on StreamYard, so if people want to pop in here, I don't know if I can post from here. Oh, I can. If people want to pop in and chat, they can. So okay, so apparently, yeah. All right. Let's see here. I want to see what this looks like on here. I got 0 viewers right now. My bit rate's good. 0 views. I'm not expecting much from this. So, like I said, it's the first time we're doing actual streaming on Twitch as well. So, like I said, we're doing the triple threat right now. Let me pull up Facebook so I can see who's commenting and what they're commenting. I actually have a message I got to check really quick. Yeah, so I just finished my coffee or drink, whatever you want to call it, and basically go from there. Dum dum. Oh, that's the wrong stream. Do. Where can I find my post? There we go. Shannon Lee. Okay, so Shannon, that was you who asked me what's going on for today. So yeah, not too much going on. We're just going to be doing some removing of prints, setting up prints. I got to check my Etsy store to see if there's anything that needs to go out. I don't think that there is, but like I said, we'll double check on that just to make sure we get all of our Etsy orders out. And yeah, we might do some basic modeling. I have a setup that I need to try and model, and it's not working out too well. And I don't know if it's a limitation of the Tinkercad software, but I obviously only know so much about 3D modeling. Basic shapes are pretty much what I've done here. So, want to know some 3D printing skills? Well, it's going to depend on machine to machine. But one skill is to stay away from Creality printers. Just kind of, sort of joking. But really, it's just have an open mind about it and try not to get too frustrated about it. What's up, Steven? I just saw you on Tim's stream. So, welcome. And I just got some notification. We got some new stuff coming in, which I love my Creality printers. Well, I'm terribly sorry for that. So did Tim end his rant stream? Oh, I got 2 spam messages. Oh boy, what is this? First again. Yes. Sorry, I'm just replying to somebody here. Okay. I own a Anycubic Mega S. As far as I know, those are pretty good printers. I'll be honest, I don't know too much about them. I've heard of them. I have never physically known anybody to have one. So, message request, C-SPAN. There we go. We're Comgrow. Comgrow asking about wanting to do a promotion on the page. Okay. That's perfectly fine. Anycubic is pretty solid company, though. I do agree with that. I've never actually owned anything Anycubic besides a resin printer. And then they sent me the Anycubic Viper, and that thing has been amazing ever since. I was actually in the process of saving up, and well, I didn't even have to save up. I had enough to purchase another Prusa because I used to have an MK2, and it was a great machine. And so I ended up getting rid of that when I switched over all the resin, and I really wanted a single workhorse printer that was an FDM printer, even though I have tons of FDM printers that I still need to do reviews on. I wanted something that I can rely on 100% and not have to worry too much about, having issues with it. And Anycubic, well, actually, Creality sent me the CR6SE, which was pretty good. It's probably the best Creality printer that's out there. Rightfully so, because it's not actually produced by Creality. The reason why I know that is because the same company produces the Anycubic Viper, which also subsequently produces like 3 other printers that are on the market. So they all come out of the same manufacturer. They're just rebranded as, the Viper, the CR6SE, and the other 3. And I had the CR6SE, and I was like, yeah, that's cool, but I had already promised that printer to my admin on my group because he asked for it. So I said, sure, I'm not going to keep it around. It's yours. You just pay for shipping and have a good day. So I did that, and I was kind of second guessing myself on should I let him actually take the printer or should I send him the printer, because it was a really, really nice printer for once from Creality. But in the end, it's still a Creality printer. I am not a big fan of Creality printers. Now the resin printers, okay, that's a different story. I can go ahead and, have Creality resin printers and not have an issue with it. But again, none of the Creality resin printers are actually made by Creality. So, with that being said, Anycubic about a month later sent me their Viper to review, and we did the unboxing and the review of it. And it turned out to be a really, really good printer. And so far, it's been printing nonstop. I have not even had to step up or down the Z ever. It's been resting at 0. So the auto leveling and the actual level of the entire printer is good, which I have never, ever had in my entire life of printing, not even on my MK2 Prusa. So with that, them sending me that printer, I was like, you know what? I don't need a Prusa anymore. So we ended up shifting those funds to other stuff, and I went and bought myself a little scooter instead. And that's basically where that money went. So now I have a Project Honda Ruckus scooter. Yeah, let me throw it in the chat here. There you go. Anycubic Predator. That I don't know about. So Santana Bradshaw, how's it going? I just actually stitched your video the other day. I saw you were having some issues with your Anycubic Mono X. Now, as you guys may or may not know, I do mostly resin printing now, and I have pretty big printers. So going from a small printer to a big printer, a lot of people think, oh, well, there's a huge difference in terms of print-wise, but it's very little. So as the 3D printing hobby matures and opens up to more people, I think the reign of Ender is coming to a close. I really, really, in all godliness, hope so, because I've tried my darndest to get them out of the scene, and it's a never-ending battle. So, hey, what's up, Matt?
Hey, yeah, I'm pretty good. A little bit stiff around the neck, slept kind of funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What time is it by you? Is it like 7 o'clock?
No, it's like 5 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, jeez.
That's normal time for me, basically. I just woken up and I saw that you were online. I said,
Yep. Yeah, I wanted to go on a little bit earlier, but I was spending some family time, so
that's good.
yeah.
Family time is best time.
Exactly. So yeah, right now I got some prints to clear off. I got some new stuff. I got this one we got to do a TikTok of and do some reviews of. This is some really cool resin, but it's a royal pain to deal with because if it settles for too long, you're going to have a bad day just because of what's in it. And then we also have my son's prints that I have to finish curing. So. All right.
Printing anything special?
Not right now, but probably in the next hour or so. Yeah.
Cool.
Really, everything that I needed printed is printed right now. So we're pretty good on that aspect.
Yeah, I'm actually having a quiet week with my FDM printers. I'm concentrating all my stuff, my thinking on the resin printer right now. I did had a few failures.
Gonna happen.
Yeah, I know. It's about to happen.
Yep.
Yesterday evening, I started out a print, and the print separated itself from the plate. And so after like 25% done, or 10%, I think it was 20% done roughly, I had a look and I like saw that, and I'm like, nah, and I stopped the print and immediately started a brand new print again. And this time it starts sticking to the building plate. I still have hella support problems, so I didn't put the information yet in. I only played around a couple times so far since I last time talked with you.
Gotcha.
And I do play around with Cheetahbox a lot because I want to familiarize myself, and it's actually pretty good. I mean, you can put the supports up and you can make them thicker or smaller, or be more attached to the device what you have. But I think with lithophane, I'm not sure yet. I think I should have a little bit higher exposure settings for it, that it gets instead of 1.5 maybe 2.
So you don't want to go too high on that. Now, I will say that there is a new resin exposure calibration print that Frozen has put out, and I think it's going to be a lot better using that one than the one that I've been using, the one that I sent you. So you might want to try that out. And
I downloaded that one too.
Good. Yeah, I just downloaded it. I haven't tested it out yet, but maybe we'll do some testing on the machine here, and maybe just do a calibration print. I know this is good because obviously the print printed, and this is a straight up and down print with minor supports. So I knew it was going to print. I printed that model before, the same orientation. And again, the thing that everybody worries about is that that peel sound, like you were talking.
Yeah.
One day, yeah, this thing was doing it majorly because there's so much suction on that. Because like I said, it was a straight up and down print. So I'm basically printing something like this completely on the build plate. So it was having a bad day. So I'm expecting to see some layer lines on that. But hey, if nothing shows up, well, then we had a good day. So, but I'm going to wait until that is all done, and then we'll start getting set up here for everything
You
else.
seen some of my pictures what I posted on
I did.
Facebook? Good.
Yeah.
My second picture came out really
nice.
nice.
Yep.
Came better as the first one, of course. I did thicken it up. I put the minimum thickness from 1.2 to 4.2 maximum.
There you
Because
go.
I wanted
Hi.
that this stops warping, when it goes up and down. Because that's basically the main part what keeps warping. And the frame I thickened up to 110 mil actually, and it stopped actually of warping. Only I have warping on the top.
So you're
part.
having warping issues where like it's wavy warping?
No, it's bent a little bit. Let me show you.
Okay.
Hold on a second.
I'm wondering if we should just up your exposure, but not too much. How's it going, Tyler? How's lovely way out there?
Alaska's not bad. It was almost 60 degrees today, I think. It was actually over 70 yesterday. So
Got a heat wave going on.
Yeah, it was down in the 40s last week and then up in the 70s this week. So it's a heat wave for sure.
We had a low of like 72 this week. So
as you can see on top, right there.
Yep.
That's the only part. Otherwise, everything else is almost pretty much straight.
Now, did you print that on an angle with supports? How was that done?
Vertically.
Straight up and down?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I used the building plate. I know you're saying I get elephant foot, but it's not that bad.
Yeah, so that's all going to depend on the exposure, the bottom exposure. So, and then the layer count for the bottom exposure. So, as long as those two, which I think we set those pretty low. I think we only set it at like 50. So it shouldn't be terrible, but
40, I think was it.
So yeah.
Hey, Tyler.
Seconds.
How's it going?
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, I was just about to pop online, and then I saw Tim had his little rant session about something. So I was like, let's see what he's complaining about today.
Yeah, I went and popped in for a little bit. I like Tim's rants.
Yep.
Oh, which Tim? Tim Twit?
TH3D Tim.
All right, yeah. Well, he was live? I didn't see that.
Yeah. Yeah, he was live for maybe about a half hour or so, 40 minutes, somewhere around there.
Normally I get notifications, but had no notification.
Okay. Let's see here. Like your comment, blah, blah, blah. All right.
I mean, the picture quality is just awesome on them.
Hello, Amanda.
Hello. What's up, guys?
Nothing much. Just sitting here doing nothing right now.
Okay, that's so cool.
Yeah, that. So Matt over here about that way. He's like the lithophane master over here. He does some crazy stuff. In fact,
so cool.
He also this unfortunately bowed terribly, but he made this for me, and basically that's
so cool.
Vigo, but I used flexible resin, so anytime I prop it up, it repositions itself. So I gotta bend it back out and get it all straightened again. So
I've had my 3D printer for all of a week.
Oh, you're super new.
I remember those days.
Now the big question is, what Ender 3 do you have?
That's funny because I actually started with a snap maker too.
Oh, so you pulled out all the stops. Okay.
If you look around my craft room, I don't stop. I love to craft. But I also just bought the Ender 5. So
Ender 5 Plus or Pro?
Pro.
Okay, good.
And I really just want to hear everybody's thing. So if I'm just quiet and listening, I'm sorry, because I just really want to hear everybody's
No,
thing.
that's perfectly fine. I mean,
Give it all to me.
In my experience, me and at least the Ender 3 series from Creality have a bad history. So I don't suggest those ever to anybody. But the Ender 5 is a different type of printer. It's a box setup printer. So it has much better stability over the Ender 3. And since you got the Pro version, you already have like the metal extruder, the upgraded PTFE tube, which, you know, it's a Chinese PTFE tube, even though it's Capricorn. It's not really. It's the Chinese knockoff one.
Gotcha.
But still, it'll work perfectly fine. So you're already on a better tier than most people when they first get into 3D printing. So with that machine, you'll have a little less problems, I'll say.
Well, I hope so. I'm like still trying. I am like 10. I don't know anything as far as computers, anything.
Okay.
So
You're not a techie.
Well,
No.
you said you're a crafter. I take it you use like a Cricut maker or something like that. Do you have anything? So I have one right here. I probably used it 2 times. I've had it since Christmas. My wife got it for me because of TikTok and me going down the TikTok rabbit hole of seeing all these people with their Cricut hacks and whatnot. And I was like, wow, that's really cool. And then I got one and I haven't used it yet. So yeah,
Cricut
finally
hack?
I got everything set up. So hopefully we'll start using it. But
So I got the Maker 3 last fall, and I kid you not, you could ask my husband who's sitting right here next to me. I don't stop. I just can't. I just love making things so much. Like this printer hasn't stopped since I got it.
the Snapmaker?
Yes.
See, and that's kind of good. Like, I know the Snapmaker's a different type of 3D printer because it's like an all-in-one. It does CNC machining. It does, well, to an extent, and then laser engraving as well, to an extent. It's very low wattage, so it's more or less like engraving out of anything. So very little. Unlike Tyler's actually got like a nicer, like actual machining engraver, as far as I can tell.
Like a Glowforge?
No. So I can bring somebody in about Glowforge if he's online, and he'll have a whole rant about that. But Glowforge, those are a different type of machine. Those are those are laser cutters. Again, to an extent, they only do so much. And they are more meant for like a hobbyist thing. So for someone like you doing all the, different aspects of making stuff, basically that would be a good machine, but there are similar ones to that on the market that are even cheaper. And I'm trying to get my hands on one, another one, I should say. But we'll see how that goes. So, you might see a review of that sometime soon.
My whole thing about specifically Cricut and the Glowforge is they use cloud software. Same thing with for 3D printing, they have the, what is it? The thing with multiple filaments. Reload them in.
Dual extrusion.
Palette.
Oh, palette.
Oh,
yeah,
gotcha.
like the palette, Palette 2, Palette 3. Now they have it out. We have up to 8 different filaments for the Palette 3 Pro, I think. They all use like the cloud software. So if that company ever goes, completely out of business, you're screwed. Unless somebody downloads or buys their company and releases it third party or freeware, or somebody figures out how they're doing things. If that company goes down, you're done. That thing's pretty much a paperweight.
I have not thought about that. You're so right.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And that's just how it is.
The
Some of these
Glowforge
companies
is live on TikTok right now too, so I can see if I can get him in here and he can have a rant. But he deals with laser machines in Canada, and he's specifically a K40 user, which is not really you can't just put it on a desktop and call it a day. It's more of a machine-based laser, but you can do far much more than a Glowforge can even think of. And again, it's not limited to a cloud software. It's more like everything's right there. You use a specific software for it, and it's not cloud-based. So that's one of the other better things. In fact, me and Tyler knows some people that use this software called Lightburn, and that's like the big thing that everybody uses for the laser engraving stuff. I don't know why I'm using quotations today, but apparently it's a thing.
It's a
And
few
then-
times now, but that's cool.
The fiber laser that I use still uses EasyCAD 2, which is a terrible software. But we'll get into that later.
I got my safety classes from America. Mad Farmer.
There you go.
Oh.
Same ones, I think.
Yeah, I don't need a big bucket of denatured alcohol in my face again. That wasn't a fun time.
I learned.
Yeah.
So I see that you have one. Do you have one in a box back there, Matt?
I have quite a few.
Okay, so my question really is there a benefit to it being in a box versus not?
What are you talking about? Like this printer right here?
Yes.
So
enclosure.
the difference of this and like what you have, this is a resin printer. So this uses a liquid and turns it into a solid. That's what this printer is. That's what that. There's one there, one there, one there, one there. And that's pretty much it for right now. But yeah, I have a ton of printers that I still need to work on. Like there's printers even there in boxes that I need to get to.
So
That's
don't
fine.
judge my office right now because it isn't. I'm literally converting it from a storage space into an office. So we've got like all the trash and stuff shoved over here until trash day. So you can see over there. Yes, hold on.
Is
Right
that
there.
a latch
Yep.
enclosure?
That is a lack enclosure. So that's an Ender 3 inside of a IKEA lack enclosure. I got all my other printers set up over here. God, this is terrible. Right here, yes. So it's in a lack enclosure. If you're printing like ABS, you want to have your printer in an enclosure because it's better for layer adhesion. It's better for pretty much everything printing with ABS. But if you're just printing with PLA, PETG, you're fine.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't really need an enclosure. And the benefit of your machine that you're going to get, the Ender 5 at least, most of that can just be enclosed with like plexiglass. And I have a buddy who's one of the admins of my Facebook group. He might be working on like a top enclosure. Excuse me, jeez. Top enclosure for those printers. So we'll have to see, though. I don't know if he wants to deal with all the hassle of designing them and everything, but
Okay.
yeah,
So-
I mostly use resin printers out of anything. So what those are meant for is like super high detail stuff.
So I
like
was
that is insanely sharp.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's so cool. So I
So-
tossed up around the idea of getting a resin printer just because I thought that was so cool. But at the same time, I've got little kids and
I have two of them, and my little one comes down here and steals my models all the time. She's 2.5.
oh my goodness.
And thankfully she doesn't have anything. There you go. Creality LDR.
This is my one of my 3 resin printers that's still in the box, as you can see. I haven't quite got everything
If you
set up.
don't
to
need
move
it,
to
send it
Alaska.
my way.
Exactly. Send it Matt's way.
Actually,
yeah,
won
I
that.
understand that. A lot of people have issues with the resin and everything, like being around kids or being in an apartment with animals and everything. Like right now, my dog's not here, but she's usually sitting right next to me. What I usually do is I'll have like a air filtration system. You guys might be able to see a blue light blinking back there, but basically it's a tower fan that has a carbon air filtration system in it. And that basically takes away all the fumes because I live in a townhouse. So I'm in my basement, 2 floors up. I got a neighbor on this wall and a neighbor on that wall, all connected. So so I got to make sure that any smell is like down to the minimum. But on top of that, I also use like higher quality resins that are not readily available on like Amazon, unfortunately. So the odor is a lot less than what it normally is. But I do understand, like, you know, if I have a bottle of resin here, or if I have resin prints or denatured alcohol, you know, one of them can come down here and destroy everything and get it into there. But, you know, to be in all honesty, if you read the SDS sheets on pretty much any resin or denatured alcohol, and I know this because I just had this stuff in my face 2 weeks ago. So I had to go to the emergency room just to be checked out and everything. But really, what I was told is it's not going to do any major damage. The worst thing that it does is if you leave it on for long periods of time, like long exposures, or if you dump resin on yourself and you walk outside, it definitely will burn your skin right off. Like that's the worst of it. But if you leave yourself inside and you wash everything off of it, you're pretty much fine. Like you can handle resin bare. Don't suggest doing that, but because a lot of people
don't do it.
Yeah, don't do that.
They have like skin irritation. That's more or less like what resin is going to cause problems with. But yeah, I understand, with the whole kids and everything. A lot of people are kind of weary about it.
You know what is fun? If you take some gloves and pour some resin or dip your finger in it, then you use a UV light, you can feel actually the heat coming off the resin.
Yeah, and that's exactly what will happen. Puppers!
Yeah, this is my old man dog. He's 14.
Oh, like my dog.
Yeah. He was my kid before I had kids. Well, I think I need like a class for non-technological people. I don't know.
No, that's
I'm doing a class soon on lithophanes.
I am always available if you need help. I don't know if you're coming through my YouTube channel or my Facebook group or wherever, but I have a Facebook group specifically designed for people who are getting into 3D printing. And that's basically what I do on a daily basis is I help people all the time. Case in point, about a week and a half ago, I had somebody come to me. They had done some upgrades on an Ender 3 and they had some issues where it just wouldn't print. He put on a dual Z lead screw to make it more stable, and it just wasn't working. And the Chinese manufacturer that makes it didn't really provide any help for it. And by the, I want to say an hour and a half conversation, we got his machine up and running and he's printing now. So not saying I can do everything, but I can at least steer you in the right direction or get you to someone who knows maybe a little bit more than me. But basic 3D printing is pretty easy. It's the whole designing process that's a little bit way above my head. So,
all right,
I can offer assistance, but definitely not directly. I have 5 kids, married, work full time, and I have a side business. So my time is already stretched very thin as it is.
Yeah,
Yep.
That's an understatement there.
Yeah, that's quite a lot.
Yeah, I have only 2, just 2. That's enough.
0.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm at 2. That's my max limit.
1 for each hand, right?
Yep.
Matt was talking about my laser earlier. So I actually have a K40 laser like he was talking about, Chinese laser. And then Matt and I know a guy named Ray. Ray runs a business that essentially took the board out of a K40 and upgraded it, made it to where it runs with better software essentially. You can also have an extra port to plug in like a rotary. So you've seen the Yeti cups, where you can actually stuff like that.
Nice.
It's a rotary. Essentially, it sits here like this, and it spins it, and then lasers the top of it, and then it comes around.
Oh, that's so cool.
So you can do a ton of stuff with
that's
that.
a big thing. Like a lot of people are into that, like the tumblers and everything. Customized.
That is a majority of my business, but I don't actually use a K40 for that. I bought a fiber laser, so it can literally etch metal. So you can take like an aluminum block or a steel plate and just put it under the laser. And with the right power settings, it can just etch into the metal, etch through the metal. So it's
Cool.
kind of hard to do the Yetis because they're made out of metal.
Yeah.
So
I'd
you
imagine
don't
so.
want to. You want to hit it enough to where it blasts off. It's essentially like a powder coating on the outside of it.
Mhm.
You want to blast off the powder coating and clean it up, but you don't want to etch through the metal on the inside.
Right. That's wild.
That took some finesse.
Yeah, I bet. A lot of oopses, right?
You have no idea. I've spent over probably $200 on Yetis just messing with settings just to make sure they're right.
That's funny.
Because it's funny too. Even it's the same with lasers because it's light. Like how you walk outside during the day and you have like a dark shirt on, you're really hot. If you have a light shirt on, you're really, not as hot.
Yeah.
White reflects the light and black absorbs it. It's the same way with fiber laser, essentially. The darker it is, the more it absorbs it. So like the less power you have to use. So you try your black settings on like say a white cup, it's gonna burn the crap out of it.
Wow, that's insane. That's fantastic. So have you guys seen Loki?
Loki,
The
like
movie?
the show?
No.
The show, yeah.
Yeah, I've only seen like one episode so far. I mean, it doesn't matter if you do spoilers for me. I'll be honest with that.
So I just made last night Miss Minutes, the clock,
Yes,
and I'm so stoked to put the guts in it.
that's a cool looking print for sure.
It is cool.
I've seen that a couple of times posted on there on our webpage of people doing multicolor prints and everything and making it look like just like the clock and everything.
That's so
Real
cool.
crazy.
All right, guys, it was nice meeting you all, and I'm sure the next time you do this, I will come back on with a list of questions.
Okay,
Bring it on.
Always here.
All right, have a good night.
All right,
Bye.
man. Thanks for popping in. All right. Now that the ad is all done, I got like all my stuff here, and then got to do a giveaway. I'm gonna put up tomorrow. I have an Ender 5 Pro that is just gonna sit here and collect dust because I'm not gonna use it. So I figured send it packing because I don't know who even sent it to me. It just showed up one day, and I was like, I don't remember asking for this at all. So it'll suit somebody else much better.
Yeah, I'm really tempted. I'm not doing as much 3D printing as I am, or as I was like 2 years ago. So I've got a couple CR10s that I'm going to sell locally, I think, because obviously shipping from Alaska is absolutely ridiculous to the lower 48. Yes. So I can sell them at a loss here, I think. I'd like to, that shelving unit that I showed you guys over here that I had the printers on. I have two Artillery Sidewinder X1s. I honestly like those printers. I know some people aren't a fan of them because they use the ribbon cable instead of actual wires.
Yep.
They've printed fine for me the entire time I've had them. If they go bad, I'll just replace the parts. I really don't care.
Yeah, and they that's the nice thing about that is they know that those are going to go bad, so they do include an extra ribbon cable in the
definitely.
box. So that's always good to see.
And it's such a popular printer that there's still parts widely available for it. So like if your control board for the hot end stuff goes bad, you just go on Amazon and buy one for like $20, I think.
That's good.
And have it shipped to you.
Yeah,
so those are going to be my workhorse printers.
Yeah, we just unboxed the BQ B1 SE Plus, and it's not printing very well. So, which, I mean, I kind of figured one of the major issues that it has is the single Z with the height of 340. So I knew there was going to be gantry issues already, and sure enough, that's what I'm having a problem with. So, I also got some new resin that I gotta test out.
Oh.
So,
Wife just walked in the office. I'll be right back.
No problem. What's up, Ken? How's it going, man? No, mine comes this week. Oh, the BQ? Yeah, so I have to look at it. I don't know if it's, user error or what's going on, but right now I've had the test prints print okay. If you guys watched the live stream, I did have a little bit of issue with the first print where one side was printing and the other one wasn't. It's basically what my Ender 3 was having issues with. And same thing that's posing here. But the other issue that this printer has is it has some sort of major interference with it. So the problem is when you are printing with it, you can't really fiddle with the Bowden tube or anything up here because it's directly connected to the hot end, and for some reason, it triggers the ABL. Now, while it's printing, it might not be an issue because the ABL has already went off your Z height set, whatever, but that's terrible. And like I was trying to figure out what's going on with it because, like I said, it prints fine on the left side where the Z rod is, and then it ghosts on the right side, so it's sagging too much. It has a sagging gantry issue, which I know they are going to have an upgrade kit for Dual Z. Which, to be in all honesty, this should have had a Dual Z from the factory. Like, there's no reason at this point to not have them on a machine now. It's kind of like the standard. So
I've just been talking to a company, and I sent them some of my lithophanes over, and they test printed, and they printed two of my lithophanes that say 150 MMS a second, and it came out nice.
Oh, nice.
So I'm not sure if she is leading me on or if she, like gives me false information. But 150 MMS, I mean, I tried to go to 50 MMS and I have terrible results.
Yeah. So the machine, depending on what the machine has, that's really what's going to determine on if it's going to print that fast. Like Ken is chatting here and he's talking about the FL Sun Super Racer, which I had here for a little bit, and that thing printed at 160 millimeters a second out of the box, factory settings.
Nice. Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about.
Yeah, so sometimes it would jump to 220. So, and it did print it, so it printed just fine. And it's kind of nice because it's a smaller printer, but it's tall. So that's the one cool thing about it is it doesn't take up a lot of space unless it's, height wise. But yeah, I mean that thing used to fly around. Usually the average was about 160 on stock settings. So
yeah,
and again, I threw crappy filament at it and it still printed fine. And that's widely to do with the dual geared extruder that it has and the volcano hot end that comes on those machines. So those two combinations allow you to print like amazingly fast on that printer. And on top of it, Delta printers are faster anyways because of the movements that they can do are much more fluid than a regular 3D printer.
I do think there have limitation on flat pictures. I mean, if it's a round picture or square picture, like square like this or round like this, it should be printing fine. But I think if it's a flat picture like this one, I think it will have more problems because of wobbling.
It might. What you may be able to help with that situation is add tree supports and add them to like the backside or something and see if that'll help. But I mean, then you're going to have to deal with the issue of supports and the dimpling and everything that it has with it. But that's about the only downside of it. But yeah, I do get where you're coming from. Traveling at that speed, going back and forth on a single line surface kind of worries me as well, but you can always tone it down if need be.
Yeah.
Or the other flip side to that is you can also upgrade the nozzle because the volcano hot end is made to push plastic, like lots of plastic in a quick amount of time. So what's nice about volcanoes, which is again one of the reasons why I like the Viper, is because it's got a volcano hot end. You can swap that out for a larger nozzle and go to like a 0.8 nozzle. And you can print anything, no matter what's like. You can print at 50 millimeters a second and still print probably 3 times as fast as any of the printers that you have right now, just because you're pushing out that insane amount of plastic. Then to top that all off, your prints are going to be like super solid. So, hello,
I'm back.
So yeah, but the SR was a pretty nice printer. I didn't have any issues with it really that weren't user error basically. So
SR-71, great aircraft.
I mean, it's probably named after it, but sure.
I'm kind of hoping that the company sends me one of the little printers, one of the
little
Razer
Delta
printers.
ones?
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, those are really, really cool printers, and I just love how they print. Like, I've always liked the look of Delta printers, but everybody I know that's had Delta printers in the past always say, like, they're great when they start out, and then they just have problems down the line, and it's just like it's a never-ending issue when it does get a problem. But I haven't known anybody that has a Delta in probably like 2 years. So, okay, do you actively print with it though? That's the
I
question.
haven't printed with it in about a year, but
Yeah, see. So
Live long
that's
and
the-
prosper.
So,
no, I loved it when I had it though. That Anycubic Predator. I mean, I still have it, but it's sitting
oh,
in the
okay, that's
computer
why
actually.
you were talking about the Predator. I gotcha.
Yeah, Anycubic Predator. That thing like literally stands. I think it's up to like. No, actually, no. I'm too tall. Probably on my stomach, which is about 3.5, 4 feet tall.
Yeah, so Ken just sent me a picture of a lithophane he just did on his SR, and that looks really, really nice. So let's see, we can probably share this out. Let's show the screen here. Here, we'll go into here, go to Ken, and we'll show that off. So that was printed on
nice.
SR Super Racer.
That looks nice. Not decent size too.
That's that knife
18 mil.
in the background there, Ken. That isn't a Cabela's knife, is it? Just looks oddly familiar in the left side there. So yeah.
Let's see if I can share a specific screen.
Yeah, you should be able to.
Sharing screens uses with 2 monitors. Okay, I have 4, so let's see. There we go. Yep.
It'll allow you to choose one. I gotta add yours in. There you go.
There we go. Yeah.
What is
Those
that?
are my 2.
5?
No, that's Haiha SX4.
Oh my God! You're like the only person I know that has that.
So Cody had that one originally.
I used to have the resin printers, and they were like insanely over-engineered.
Yeah, so you see the little Bondtech. It was stupid. Not really stupid, but what's the company that does printer upgrades in Texas that Tim's friends with?
Tiny Machines?
Yes. So the guy from Tiny Machines had one of these printers and designed a direct drive replacement because the one that it came with was garbage. Like this thing, I mean, for example, from the factory, they installed the hot end cooling fan. Oh, the cooling fan, the layer fan. They installed it backwards. It was actually sucking air from the print as it was printing instead of blowing on it.
Okay.
Wow.
But this little Bondtech thing, so it's a left hand instead of a right hand. I don't know how familiar you are with Bondtech extruders.
Yeah.
They don't make a left hand. You had to find a left hand from a third party and buy it and then put it on there. It was a little ridiculous. Yeah, that's the Anycubic Predator right next to it. So
Yeah, that's pretty large.
I made myself a resin comb.
There you go.
nice.
It's always good to have. I'll be honest, I've never printed one. I probably should, especially with this ridiculous thing. But
It's brilliant. I mean, I went through there. I thought I lost a piece, but I actually fished out 3 pieces
there you go.
out of the resin bot. And I normally wanted to put a sieve and then drain it. And I said, nah, it's too much work. And the chances of damaging the fab every time you put the thing back because of the 2 screws, because you have to line them up perfectly. Otherwise, if you're a little bit off center, then you can damage the fab with the screws,
Yeah.
So I just looked on Thingy Universe and found that little comb, and it works brilliant. I'm gonna make a whole bunch of them.
See, that's perfect. Yeah, always good to have extras around if needed.
They're only like 2.5 hours, 3 hours to print.
That's not bad. You PLA print it?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's soft enough. So have a nice bend to it too. No sharp edges or nothing. I make sure of that.
Gotcha.
No, I'm getting really excited about, and also I'm making some parts for my other machines. That came out really nice.
A mini Sherpa. Oh, I know what that is.
Fan.
Oh
For
yes,
the-
yes. I know you were
for the
talking
fan,
about those.
yeah.
Because they're like hard to find those replacements.
Yeah, and
Now,
I know
the cool thing you can do is you can go out and get some Soraya Tech Sculpt and resin print it.
Oh yeah, I did that. So,
Yeah, make it look nice and pretty.
made a banshee with a
Very nice.
miniature honey badger in the back.
I guess the most recent thing that I did is this. I really don't know what it is. It's from a game, and one of the clients that comes to me for their 3D printing stuff wanted it for a belt.
All right.
So
I
Cosplay.
don't know what that's
yes,
for.
I don't either. She sent it to me. She's like, "Can you make this?" And then I talked to Doug, Tim's brother. I was like, "Hey, can you design this and I'll print it?" So we worked together.
Yeah, he moved about 30 minutes away from me now, I think. So, whereas before he was like a 2-hour drive. So
Yeah, he was at school in Bloomington, I think.
all right, that's all done. That's all done. Let's get this all situated. That all situated. Let's get this off. This is really cool stuff. This is really cool resin. It's called Hazard Glow, and it's literally glow in the dark resin. So we printed off Oogie Boogie.
Nice.
Let me see if I can get these. Let me turn off my lights really quick.
See, let me show you what you need to do. Alexa, turn off the office lights.
Yeah, I need to install something like that, but that one's on a switch, so I need to make sure it's good to go. Turn this off, and there you go.
Glow in the dark.
Where is the power? And there you go. But yeah, glows in the dark. You can even kind of see the resin. Here's my wipe rag for the resin itself. It's even luminescent.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of these lights. They're just like, I think we bought them for Black Friday last year. It was like $4 or $5 a piece at Walmart. I'm a fan of the bright white, if you know what I'm talking about. Like, not necessarily like your daylight, but like a bright, like you walk in, you're kind of like, oh my gosh, it's so
Like
bright.
like 5,000 kelvins.
Exactly. 5 or
Yep.
6,000. I love that. It's like you walk into your office and it's bright as hell. You're ready to do stuff. You're motivated. You can see everything.
I
If I
agree
can
100%.
find Wi-Fi lights with that, degree of temperature, I will do that for sure.
Yep. Yeah, this one above me, this is like a main bar light, and I want to say that's like at 44,000 or 4,200, so it's a little more on the yellow side. It's not to my taste, but all the other lights that are down here, like my actual lights, are 5,000 for sure. I swapped them out this year because I'm like that looks way cleaner than the like orange hue that I see off of these lights. It annoys me.
6,000 is my sweet spot. That's what my headlights are. I just love the way 6,000 looks. It's not too far on the blue spectrum, and it's not too far on the yellow spectrum. It's just right
Yep.
there in that like perfect center.
I hear you. Yeah, for me.
Yeah, I have Alexa. Alexa, turn off computer lights. Alexa, turn on computer lights.
So each of these lights is individually controlled in my office. It's like, Alexa, set the flag lights to red.
Okay.
And
No, I
then all
can
the
do
rest of
that.
them.
Change the colors. I have regular light bulbs in there.
Like I said, these were like $5, I think, light bulbs
Oh, yeah.
from Walmart last year from Black Friday.
I can change the color settings. Not color setting on that one. I can change the from white to. Hold on, I can change that. Let me. Luminous window lights. See?
Yep.
I can turn it up, or I can change the color from yellow to white.
Said that's like a Philips Hue.
It's one of those light bulbs.
Or something, a cheap version of it.
Ultra bright it is.
Gotcha.
Yep. Alexa's actually pretty powerful. Like,
Alexa annoys me.
set office lights to 50% brightness.
Okay.
Turn it
If I
down.
ask Alexa who she loves, she doesn't tell me she loves me. Or I ask her, you want to take over the world with me? She's like, I have no answer for that.
Because I've already taken over the world.
Ask her if the CIA is listening.
Alexa, is the CIA listening?
It just turns off, right?
Doesn't say nothing.
Hold on. Alexa, is the CIA listening?
Amazon takes privacy seriously. For more information and to view Amazon's privacy notice, visit the help section of your
Alexa, how gonna take over the world?
Matt, what is your opinion of a decent printer for miniatures? You know me, budget as always, from Ken.
Oh, that's actually a very good question. Wow, that came out different. Well, obviously, resin is going to be the main thing for miniatures, and really the best go-to for your best bang for your buck right now is going to be the Voxel Lab Proxima. I want to say last I checked, they were about $170 brand new off of Amazon. And that'll basically get you a 6-inch monochrome screen. I want to say it prints at like 47 microns, which is pretty good for your standard screens. And it's basically a newer, updated version of a Elegoo Mars. So. But for starters, like you get that and the any cubic wash and cure station and a bottle of resin, you can probably get into resin printing for less than $320.
So my Creality printer that I just showed, the LD002R, I think that one.
Yep.
I won that on Jim's stream like 6 months ago, I think. And they sent it to me, and I'm like, what the hell am I going to do with this thing? Like, I don't print miniatures. I don't print anything.
Nope.
And since I opened up the laser business, I've kind of opened up more, because some of the things I'll do like a little bit of 3D printing. So the that 30 millimeter round I showed you guys earlier in that group chat.
Yep.
I 3D printed a projectile for it and took a picture of that and like submitted it to the business page. And people are like, "Wait, what the hell is that? Is that an actual projectile for it?" So I'm thinking that resin would probably look better than FDM for that kind of thing.
Absolutely.
some like chrome spray paint, make it look nice.
Yep. Yeah,
So-
one of the things that really like attracted me to resin printing is it's what I really originally wanted when I got into 3D printing, because there's almost no layer lines on it unless you have the wrong orientation on your prints, and then the peel force will give it layer lines, but basically when you print something like this Oogie Boogie, all the texture's there, so it kind of looks like a knitted print almost, and all you have to do is just paint it. That's it. So, what was it called? Voxel Lab Proxima.
Probably have to get rid of like some of the little nubs from the supports with an X-Acto knife, but that's like probably the extent of your cleanup, and that's it.
Yeah, this one's a little difficult because of the exposure time that's required of this print, this resin. Requires very, very high times. And I think after I'm looking at this, even though the website told me for this specific printer, try these, and it looked good, I think we're overexposing too much, because these supports are really, really hard to get off. Usually they tear away, no problem. So I might have to run this under some hot water really quick and try and get this.
That's why I think overexposure might be a little bit better for lithophane, because I do find that the bottom layer where the adhesion is to the building plate is fine, but I prefer it to have the same type of resin hardness all the way through.
Gotcha.
So the only way I get this is if I higher the exposure time. Of course, then longer printing times.
Right. All right. I'll be right back.
Thanks for the warning.
Wow. What warning that he's going?
The warning that he's coming back.
Oh. Well, you have to switch off live stream. Like this one here, bend a little bit. So if I have it all the way, the hardest layer on the bottom, go all the way through, I think I should solve the problem with warping. Because, warping is my main issue, and I think the warping will go away. The only thing is it might become a little bit more brittle, the lithophane, but lithophanes are in generally brittle, the original ones. They're made out of porcelain. So if you drop them, they shatter into 1,000 pieces. So if that happens to that, why not? Because the original lithophanes have the same type of behavior problems,
Yep. I've only printed, I think, 4 or 5 things on a resin printer.
Oh, wow.
A couple of them with semi-legality issues, so we'll not go into that. But
yeah, I just got into it.
I had an Anycubic photon for a while, and I printed a couple things on that, and then I bought an Anycubic, what's the Zero, I think it was?
Mono?
No. Anycubic, I think it's Zero.
Okay. There's so many resin printers out now. I don't have them all in my head.
Yeah, Anycubic Photon Zero. So it's kind of got like a yellow enclosure over the top of it. It's a smaller resin printer. I bought one of those for like $60 from a return from Amazon, and then I won that Creality LD002R. So I got those 3 resin printers that are still sitting in their boxes.
Wow. Yeah, I got my resin printer from Matt Farmer and James Rookie. And I'm so thankful for them sending me that. Because literally I live on a budget, and I couldn't afford a resin printer.
Matt from Jake Farm. What? What's up, John? How's it going, man? All right. Yeah. So one of the issues with this type of resin and the pigment is if you don't keep mixing it, I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but it's got
Looks like a yellow nugget.
yeah, it's shifted color. So this has more pigment in it than this, the bottom half. So looks you can see it more in a picture, but the I printed that down flat. Yeah, I did the same thing. The pigment doesn't mix very well or stay mixed, so you got to do like fast printing with this stuff.
So forgive my ignorance because it's been over a year since I've resin printed. Has it become easier to not make everything solid as it's printing?
Yeah, I mean you can make a hollow print. I was actually going to start experimenting with that because back in the day when it first started, the issue is there is an infill section, or at least there was. I haven't looked in a long time, but there was the ability to have like an actual infill. You just needed to make sure you had drain holes in it.
Right.
So that's the only thing that was the problem, is people didn't understand how to properly the sides of it and everything. So I'm going to look into that and probably do a video more on that type of stuff, because I want to know if we can get away with, so right now the issue is it's either solid or it's hollow. I want to know if I can put some sort of inside structure inside of a print, like an infill, and, have a lighter print, but still have the structural rigidity to keep the print intact. So, again, a lot of people had issues printing it back in the day, but I think now with the technology that we have, printing faster, and then how the slicers are set up and everything, we might have that ability to do it a lot better than what we had in the past. So,
Yeah, if you print hollow, don't go smaller than 3 mils thick.
Yeah.
That's what was recommended to me by Jerry and several other people.
And the thing is too, like, it doesn't, cut the print time down per se. It just
I know.
uses less resin.
Yep.
That's what you want. I mean,
Yeah.
I put the honey badger on the G2 box, and it says 20-hour print time, but 800 grams of resin. And I'm like, whoa, that's like
Lord.
35 pounds. And I'm like, no, I can't do a big one like that.
Yep. Yeah, so that's really like the main thing for someone like me. I don't personally care. I have so much resin that I can print full material prints on that big thing for probably 2 months straight before I even try to run out of resin. So, but I mean, for everybody else, resin is like 2 to 3 times more expensive than PLA printing, or even special filament printing. So anytime you can save some stuff, would be best.
Yeah, I just received 2 resins liquids in the post a couple days ago, what I ordered, and I ordered the same one as you gave me.
I'll be honest, I think that has a problem with it, but that just maybe me and my lack of for Elegoo and any cubic resins.
I like it because it's hard, and it's ABS, and that works really well, I think, for the pictures right now, and they come so sturdy out. I'm just amazed by it, and also just the way this stuff comes out in ABS. Also, it can take higher temperatures.
Right.
If I put it on the nozzle, near the nozzle, so that was my idea. Because I have sometimes after 6 months, if I print this out of PLA, after 6 months, it's going to be dented in.
Right.
Because of the heat of the nozzle. So So I'm gonna change that out and see how that works, and I expect this to last literally forever.
All right, let's see here.
It's a streamception.
Let's do.
Thingiverse.
I think that's pretty good. Bit of one piece. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Just something simple.
If anybody's watching and they want to print some cool lithophanes, check out my Thingy Universe website, Mad German, and you find quite a few lithophanes, cans lithophanes there, and vases.
All right, so we'll go with V3. All right, so we'll put that down.
If that doesn't work out, I can create something for you real quick.
Oh, for the sign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're wanting it to be dual color? Are you gonna FDM it, or are you gonna?
No, it's going to be resin. So
Oh, you're okay. never mind.
it'll probably end up being half painted, if anything. I might just
Gotcha.
leave it as is, to be honest. So, yeah. Downloads. That's a big boy.
Damn.
Oh, wow.
That's on my Mega. That's my biggest resin printer. Jeez, Lord. We're going to have to size that down because that's what it's going to be on. Yeah, we're going to definitely size that down for sure.
Should get that Phenom from Jim.
Well, actually, this printer is bigger than the Phenom, and it's got newer technology.
Never mind then.
Yeah, this is a brand new printer. They're just starting to ship these out. So, this is the Frozen Sonic Mega. It's about $2,000 to get it to you. And funny enough, it actually came through Anchorage, Alaska, imported from Taiwan.
It's weird that it came through Anchorage. It's
Yeah.
not like a hub per se.
Yeah, FedEx has got to have a hub up there because that's where it came through. So, right. So this print is probably not going to come out as good as I'd like it to, actually. But we'll see. Maybe I'll put some supports on it. See how well we do. So with something like this, we can print it flat, but it's probably going to be a pain to remove because, like I said, the exposure settings on it.
That print looks like it was made to be an FDM 2-color print.
Yeah, it definitely was because
Yep.
you can tell where the layering is and everything, how it's set up specifically to do like 2 different types.
Yep.
See how like that's all raised and everything. So yeah, definitely is. You know what? Actually, we're gonna delete that and we're gonna do an exposure test because I got a new fancy exposure. We're gonna double check before we start.
Oh, that's a big one.
Yes. Really? All right. Well, this is going to take a while.
Wow, for this thing takes that long to load.
It's going through NetFab to repair the model. So there's some issues with this model apparently. So it's going through NetFab's website to repair it. So it is a lot slower because my computer is ridiculously fast. It's probably faster than most people's computer that I know, even faster
Not
than
mine.
So I have 64 cores. So
Boah. That's
My
overkill.
processor's still faster. Cores
Alright.
doesn't mean speed, bro.
This has
Yeah,
a new
more work it can do.
I have a 5950.
This has some sort of some Threadripper like a 3780 or something like that.
Yeah, so it's more cores, but not faster per core. So you have more cores than I do. You can more shit at once faster
Yep.
than I can, essentially.
And then it's got 64 gigabytes of RAM. It's got a 2060 Super on it. That's pretty much it. Nothing spectacular. 750 power supply. So I just threw some stuff on there. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. So
I built mine in November. I got a 3080 GPU, a 5950X AMD, and then a 1,000-watt power supply. Just because.
There you go.
You should check out that Ghostbusters logo. I just posted in the private
Yep.
chat.
I just saw it, so I'm downloading it right now to see how it goes.
That
I
thing
didn't use
looks
water-soluble filaments. It's so expensive, I don't understand why it would be used. To be honest, that's used more or less like in higher end. At least that's what I've seen it. I've never known anybody like on a hobbyist level that has used water-soluble supports and stuff like that. Usually when I see that, it's like an ad for, a $6,000 printer and stuff like that. So
yeah, that's like stuff that you don't want to remove supports from. Like you're like, this is so intricate. I don't want to have to make it look like crap below the supports. I just want to print a water soluble filament underneath it, and then make it. Here's your regular layer of water soluble filament. Here's your regular layer of actual filament. Like just merged together. You just dump it in some water, and then it's good to go. Which is mostly, like you said, higher end stuff. Hobbyists are not going to use that.
yeah,
I don't know. It was recommended to me not too long ago when I started printing. Just because I got annoyed with the supports, and he said, "Why you don't take water dissolvable filament?" I'm like, "Yeah, but where I get it from?" It's really hard to find too. That stuff.
It's called PVA. I don't know what the actual acronym stands for, but it's essentially the same stuff as like your glue stick. It's just a glue stick filament. It's a little bit different, obviously, but it's the same crystalline structure as in a glue stick.
I
Nice.
know. I'm pretty sure Dave has some at his shop, or at least they used to sell it.
I'll be right back, man. I'm gonna go grab another drink. It's my Friday, so we have a 4-day weekend. I'm
Nice.
drinking and chatting.
There you go. Yeah, so PVA from Matter Hackers is about $45, and this is Matter Hackers too. So polyvinyl alcohol is a water-soluble material that is often used as support material. So yeah, that's kind of expensive. It's about double the price of a filament, regular filament. But yeah, it has, from like what I've seen, it's more specific to people who are like in the manufacturing process where they don't have time to deal with removing supports and everything. So they put it in a bucket, set their next print, come back, and just kind of do everything right there. So, okay, I was wondering, because of all the dual extruders or pallets, MMU push it. Yeah, it's listed on Amazon as well. Yeah, I did see that there were some Amazon listings. Let's see, PVA. Whoa, $65, Jesus, and that's only for a 0.75 kilogram. Jeez.
Whoa.
That's some expensive stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was that expensive. 1 kilogram is $131.
That's why I said it's expensive and hard to find.
That's up there with like Peak and Ultim, like really insane material. That's ridiculous. But yeah, that would explain why it's so expensive too. Because again, it's not really meant for the hobbyist. I know they tried pushing it about a year and a half ago. Really, really big push on it, but it just didn't go anywhere. Like there wasn't enough multi-extruder demand to make it.
I think
it was needed.
I think this product would work good on an IDEX printer.
Yep.
The only problem what I see is the temperature issue. Because mostly the IDEX printer, you can't say make this hot and 215 and the other one 200,
Right.
That's the problem with IDEX printer, because I think they should be able to control each hot end, the temperature, what you want, so you can print actually different filaments and mix filaments together. Because right now, only you can use only PLA together in both ends, and they both have to basically be from the same company, so you don't have so much issues with temperature that the plastic properly melts.
Right. Okay. Let's put this back. So we're actually going to double check the exposure on this because I think we're way over than what we need to be. So we're just going to see how this comes out and go from there. This will be my first time printing this new one that came out. So just to give you an idea of how ridiculous the settings are on this. Yes, that is 16 seconds. This is actually supposed to be 1. 75 burn-in. That's ridiculous. That's 6 layers. Uh, 10 second. I'm not worried about light off delay or anything on this. We'll print that in 21 minutes, so it'll probably be like 35 or so. And there goes my fast machine. Boom, done. Gotta love it.
I'm back.
Hello. Welcome back.
We didn't even notice you were gone.
Oh,
Just kidding.
So going back, I had my headset on the entire time.
nice.
I've heard, I've not tried it. Like if you do an IDEX printer, that if you do PETG and PLA, it's like if you do PETG with PLA supports or PLA with PETG supports, then it is almost the same as like PVA because they don't stick together essentially.
Yep.
I've not tried it, so disclaimer: if you try it, don't blame me.
Yeah, but you
It's an experiment process.
PETG and PLA, you do print differently in temperature, so I do see that problem. Unless you overheat the PLA, what should
Or
be
you
fine,
don't
but
like
then it
flux.
becomes more liquidy. I print my PLA at 215 for my lithophane picture because if I do 200, I'd get not layer lines, but they're more noticeable, I think, and also they don't fuse together really well. So I use a higher heat, and the PLA just melts and just sticks perfectly.
Yep.
Feel like I was wrestling with a bear.
A what?
I feel like I wrestled with a bear because I slept wrong. So
Oh, yeah,
all
you
the
were
side of
I may be way oversimplifying, but I agree with the.
All right, gentlemen, I think I'm gonna hop off. I'm gonna go do a couple things and then I'll put the kids to bed.
good luck.
You guys have a good night.
Good night.
All right, man.
Bye.
Take it easy.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, that's Tyler. He's my moderator for the group. He's been on the CR10 group for a long time. Oh god.
Yeah, I was another moderator job offered the other day, but I turned it down because I have so many things to do.
Understood. It's a lot of work, I'll be honest.
Yeah, you have to read through most of the sections, and so
Yeah,
I'm still a moderator at GTech, but I'm thinking about to leave it maybe soon. I'm not sure yet because let's say since certain people are gone from GTech, I mean GTech changed.
Yeah. What's up,
I'm not
Darren?
impressed.
I switched slicers. I had problems with Cura and went to Idea Maker and love it. I've never tried Idea Maker. I have Simplified 3D, which I usually use for my my printing purposes. But with like the newer machines, they're already pre-set up on Cura, so I've just been kind of slicing on there and go. I'm not a big fan of the support structure that's on Cura. I always like simplified because you can put supports anywhere. But the other
You
one
can do
that I
that with Cura.
what is it?
You can put supports where you want with Cura. I mean, there's a different download section what you can download for Cura. It's also called support, and it looks basically like little steps. And yeah, that works really fine. You just click on the part what you want. You actually can make them bigger. If you want the support to the size, you can make them round, square shape. So
Gotcha.
it works
Okay.
pretty well, I think. I can
Yeah,
send you a link to it.
I'll have to take a look at that because I know that and like tree supports. I've never used any of that stuff on Cura because I haven't used Cura ever until I got the Viper, and then I started downloading it, and I probably should have had it for a while because a lot of people use it. So, what's
Yeah, I
up,
was
Jerry?
offered the Viper.
Yeah,
Hey, Jerry. And the Viper, I thought about long and hard to get it, but then I said to myself, if I make a video, there are 10 other people who do the same video, so it's not worth it for me getting it and paying money out just to get the Viper and just wait till the price drops before I get it. My Germans, I'm with you now.
excuse me. Let's get this right. It's Matt Germain.
Matt Germain.
Yeah, it's sad. From what I was told that G Tech is pretty much done. They're not planning on coming back or anything like that, so they're just gonna kind of fizzle away, unfortunately. So
Yeah, that's what I think too. I think the company's shutting down.
yeah,
The way
that's
it
what I
feels.
heard. So I haven't been on the G Tech bandwagon in probably about a year. I always loved their G Tech A10. It was a far superior printer than the Ender 3, but it was just the fact that the popularity of the Ender 3 literally killed everybody else. So it was like no matter what machine came out on the market in that past year, it didn't really matter because the Ender 3 had made a name. It's set in stone, and the chances of it going away are very, very slim. But the new Voxel Lab and like the Fucos or however you say it, those printers are starting to make a splash now with what they offer and how cheap you can get them. You know, they are a little bit more expensive than an Ender 3 and even an Ender 3B2, but you do get a lot more bang for your buck, like dual Z, filament runout sensor, you know, basically everything that you need right out of the box, minus, you know, an auto bed leveling system, but usually like upgraded springs, dual Z, filament runout sensor, you know, flexible build plates, that all kinds of things that, you know, people are usually looking for in printers nowadays. So,
G-Tech came out with a new printer last month.
oh yeah?
They didn't even advertise it. I mean, I asked some people about it, and they're like, "No, I don't know that one." I actually forgot the name of it, the printer. I have to look it up.
Let's take a look here. That's kind of what they did with the resin printer. They didn't really market it very well. It was an insane resin printer, but it was really expensive,
And big.
and they just didn't market it very well, so it just kind of fell to the wayside. So let's see. We have the A10, A30, their i3, the wash and cure,
Yeah, that's new.
the E180. Yeah, I had the wash and cure. It was kind of nice.
The G-Tech Mizar.
The what?
The G-Tech Mizar. It's called $240. Hold on, I'm clicking on it. That's basically it.
Hold on, let me see. Can you send me a link to that?
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Okay, you should have it in the private chat.
Okay.
And I knew about this printer before it came out. I was
Yeah, I
told
know
about it,
you were
and
telling me about that they were coming out with a new printer.
I even had a first look. I was one of the only persons who had a first look on the printer,
Nice.
and I'm not really impressed with it. I mean, I don't see. I think it's just another Creality ripoff. I'm sorry.
They like took a step back. What the?
Yeah, I know. That's what confuses me. I mean, I like G-Tech's products, but I really doubted that product, and
So this is just very strange because everything is off to the right for the extruder, unless this is a mirror
left.
image or something. But yeah, I don't know about this. Like, it's a single Z. Looks like it's got an okay hot end on it.
I mean, the hot end's supposed to be really nice on it, I hear, but
I'm trying to get a view of it a little better. It's kind of strange looking, but that's typical for G-Tech stuff. But
and
yeah,
if
all it
G-Tech is
looks
closing
really-
down, oh boy, I don't know what I'm gonna do for parts.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like at that point, you might as well just start upgrading to your,
Different
like
printers.
a V6 hot end or Titan extruder or dual geared extruder, whatever. At that point, it's time to stray away from the G-Tech stuff. So. Yeah, their wash and cure does not have a lid, but it does have one feature that none of the other wash and cures have. It has a pour spout, which I'll be honest, I'd rather trade that for an actual lid, but it is nice to see that on a printer or on a wash and cure. And then the other thing that they had that was like kind of cool, but had an issue was on the bottom. They actually had an LED light that came through the bottom. So that was really cool. But the problem with that is when you put the turntable on, the magnets that are underneath that. So basically, when you turn things, it's a magnet on top of a magnet, right? For the wash station. And they turn in tandem, basically. And the problem is that spinner that's on underneath inside spins with the turntable and it covers that spot every once in a while. So that's about the only downfall with it. But it is a nice looking wash and cure station. It's more, what do I want to call it? Like more modernized, I guess. Not so boxy.
The only thing what I see what G-Tech gonna keep doing is the filament.
Yeah.
I think. Because filament are pretty much, they go pretty quick from G-Tech, the filament. And I like G-Tech filament. I think I used many different brands and I had so many problems clogging up and no, it was not nice. There only were like one or two PLA filament what worked pretty well, and that was Sanlu worked pretty well. And which one was the other one?
Yeah.
Gradum.
So most people may or may not know you have eSun you have Sunlu, you have 3D Warhorse, you have Jayo, Jayo, and there's like 3 other ones that are basically all eSun products. Now they are different stages of eSun. Like one is a higher quality, and then the other ones are like they're lower quality stuff. So they sell them under different brand names. It's a common thing, I guess, in China, which is why you see a lot of like branches off. Like Voxel Lab right now is technically FlashForge, but for some reason they branched off and want to start their own thing. Hey, the same thing with like ANET. ANET supplies probably, I don't know, to at least 10 different companies their printers, and they're all the same type of printers. And I have a sneaking.
Aren't ANET the ones who burn sometimes?
Well, they used to. The i3 models or the ANET A8 or A6 models had a lot of issues with that, but that was years ago. I haven't really seen anyone set on fire again, except for Creality, which they're kind of like back and forth with their QC, and that's the power connectors. Sometimes they're soldered in when they're supposed to be like push-in connectors or crimped connectors. So yeah, there's electrical resistance on the connector, and it burns up. So you see that all the time.
What, you eating nuts?
Yep.
Honey roasted nuts or just regular salted nuts?
Just regular like cocktail salted peanuts.
All right.
I'll be honest, I'm not really a big fan of like the odd flavoring ones.
Yeah, I like the honey and salt one. That's nice.
G-Tech filament is good. I printed with 4 different PLA and 2 PTG. No, 0 problems.
Yeah, that's the same problem with me. I mean, every once in a while I have a clog, but that's mostly issue of the Bowden tube being burnt or the hot end nozzle needs to be exchanged. But that's the only type of clogging I ever had with G-Tech filament.
Right.
I love wasabi flavor. Oh, that's hot.
Wasabi. Woo! Oh, anytime I think of wasabi, I think of that it's a meme. It's a little girl and she's like just eating food. And her mom's like, "This is wasabi. Do you want some?" And she's like, "No." And she's like, "Wasabi." And she's like, "You want to try some?" And so she like has a little taste. She looks dead in the camera and she's like, "Oh." Anytime I think of wasabi now, that's all I see.
All right, Matt, I'm gonna head off now. I think I'm gonna head back to bed.
Alrighty, sir.
Thanks for letting me come on.
Anytime. And
Thank
I'll catch
you.
you on the next one.
Good luck.
So yeah, Santana, since you're here, I had stitched your video on TikTok about resin calibration, and that's basically what we're doing here. Now, I did a calibration print that I usually do it with most of my resins, and it seemed to turn out okay. But after that print that came off of this printer, I'm a little weary of it, so I'm not sure if I'm overexposing or not. So we're running another calibration print. This one's it's a newer print from Frozen, and it seems to be a little bit better to read. But this will be the first time I'm using it and reading it. So once I get it off there, it'll be done. It'll be done in like a minute or so. It's at 90% already. But basically, I'm going to take it off, read it, and I'll show you exactly how we go about reading that. So we're going to do like the ghetto version. We're not going to wash and cure it. We're just going to wash it, let it dry a little bit, and then just kind of read it off there. So we don't really need to cure it to verify everything's good. We're just going to get within that good range. So, but yeah, that's not powerful enough. Oh yeah, I got. Of course, I clean everything off of my desk, and like I said, not even a week later, there you go, done, donezo. We'll be done in less than a minute. It's already at 96%. This printer is very, very fast, so we'll probably be done in less than a minute here. In about 30 seconds. This one will be cool to view, though. Let's see if we can hit that with some alcohol and get that all set up. Well, we're done. So basically, I have a pre-wash, and then we'll go and actually wash it in the wash and cure right there once we're all done. So what this does, because I have that thing filled to, really, really high up, I don't want to destroy the denatured alcohol that's in there or contaminate it, basically. So what I do is I do a pre-wash to rinse as much of the resin that's still on this model off, and then I'll let it dry for a little bit, and then we'll throw it in the actual wash station to actually get all the rest of it off that we can't, because swishing it back and forth only does so much. It doesn't get a lot of stuff off of it. So that's basically what we're going to do. A lot of crap in here. All right, so we'll let him sit. All right, so now that this is done, let's take a gander at it. Let that drip off for a little. Oh, that didn't really work all that well. I forgot I adjusted the bottom layers to be like 0, and that's what it came out as. It came out as 1. So basically the bottom layer did not print at all. Yeah, we're going to have to up our bottom exposure. Because it literally did not print the bottom of it. So just to show you, all it did was print out all of the other stuff. So what it printed was all the details, but none of this area. So this probably didn't even print. Nope. So I can't check on that. That didn't print because it's too low. That side didn't really print. These printed. That printed. The 4 corners printed. Well, no, 3 corners printed. So yeah, I kind of miffed that one. So let's go ahead and change this, and we'll do bottom layer count. We want to do at least 3. Suggestion is 5. Minimum is 4. Let's do 5. That'll be good enough. We might have to run another print. But we'll read it off here as best as we can. We'll just read it directly off the plate and see what we can do here. But I think we're good. It looks pretty decent. try and show this off. I don't know how the light's going to be, but yeah, it's kind of hard to see. But basically, you see those bottom nubs. Like, we're going to read off of that. And that looks pretty good. We're going to count how many we have on here to how many we're supposed to have. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 little nubs. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and all 8 nubs made it on there. And it made it on there pretty good. I'm blown away by that. So it definitely is on the right exposure. So we are good. I guess we'll just have to do some lighter support. Is that STL on Thingiverse? Grats on the nubs. It is not on Thingiverse, but I can link it here. Let me throw it in my drive really quick, and we'll get it up to you. So you can go ahead and directly download it. Wherever my drive may be. Google. Because I'm going to do an updated video, the one that I told you about on TikTok. I'm going to use this exposure and go from there. But yeah, you definitely want at least 5 to 6 base layers. Don't do 0 like I did, or 1, I mean, because nothing will come out. So yeah, we're going to try this print again, though. Where are we at? So I need to go to my file section. Downloads. And we're going to go Frozen XP. All right, we'll let that upload. It's going to take a couple minutes. So, but yeah, once I saw it, I was like, oh, that's going to be far superior to what I was using before. Because one of the issues I saw with the resin exposure, I'll throw it in here really quick just to show you guys what I'm talking about and the differences between why I think this exposure setting is better than the last one that I did, the original XP exposure finder. So let's see if I can find it. I know it's in 3D printing and test prints. So we do have different exposure finders. Like this one was pretty good. This is from Monicure 3D. This one I cannot hand out to anybody. This is specifically for like dental use, but this is very, very high detail. I'll show that one off. But I'll show you the one that I used to use. So as you can see, like this one is very, very high detailed, and it has like specific things that you're looking for. So, you know, does it have lettering that comes in? Does it have all the nubs that come in? Does it have really, really fine nubs, hexagons, squares, all kinds of different angles that you can, you know, go and base it off of and see like how well it supports itself without any supports. On this as well, the same thing. So basically that's what it's made for, and you can do an exposure test off of that. But this one again is a little harder to read off of. Not too many people understand what all these mean, so I don't generally use that. So we'll do this one, and then we'll do download one. Come on. Cancel. Okay. So as you can see, it's a little bit bigger. But the issue that we always had with this model is like you would connect here or just connect, which is what you were looking for. And then you would have like these little lines would be destroyed because they're so insanely thin that it's almost impossible for it to print well. Like it's literally like thinner than paper. Like right when you get to about here, all these tend to just kind of rip away. So That's the issue that I have with this XP finder. It's a good one to start with, but I think this is a little bit better because it gives you all these different types of XP. So you have your lettering, you have your box shaping with cuts, you have the opposite of that, you have your round nubs, you have basically what it looks like. If you guys have ever played GoldenEye Nintendo 64, it looks like the proximity sensor basically. So this will show you like your steps up on here. So, and all the nubs around there. And then again, the nubs on each and every side of it. And then your holes are up here. And then you have finer like squared details. So, so that's really, really nice. And then you have on the edges here, just some odd shapes that are more or less, I think, for design, but you can also read off of that as well. But really what you're looking for is this specifically. If this can print all the way down to there, you have a really, really good tune on your setup there. So I installed my first FEP today. I was very nervous. I have a print running, and I'll see if I did it right. Well, I'm sure you'll be okay. It does need a little bit of tension. You can't just like put it on there. But usually when you tighten it down and everything, you're pretty good. I don't really see too many people have issues. Now, I will say one thing to steer away from is anybody who talks about adding any type of lubricant to the FEP, don't even do it. The reason why people add that to it is because they have underexposing issues or they have too light of supports. And so basically what happens is the print fails and they think, oh, it's the FEP and it's because of the peel forces. Well, the peel forces are there to be there. That's what it's needed for. So when you hear that pop or that suction or the like tear away, basically, that's a good sign of a print. If you don't hear that, it's not the end of the world, but most likely if you don't hear it right away, you're probably going to have a failure. Again, that's not always the case. It's just always better to hear that at the beginning. You don't want too much though, like where you actually like, it sounds like somebody's like punching it. You don't want that. You want it just a little bit where you kind of hear it, again, like tearing away. That's a sign of a good thing, but never ever use any type of lubricant on your FET film. That's a big no-no. So at least in my eyes, I've never needed to use it. I've done resin printing for almost 3 years now, over 25 different resin printers. So yeah. What's up? How's it going, Cassandra? I don't know who put that on there, but sure. Surprised there's 9 viewers on here. There's somebody watching on my Twitch stream, which I'm amazed about. Like, I don't know who that is. And again, it's my first time using a Twitch link on that. But all right, so this is updated. So where's my Frozen XP? Okay. So we're going to create a link. We're going to copy that link. Done. And I'll share it out there. Hopefully you find that and that you can get it. But there you go. There's a link for that new XP finder from Frozen. Again, we're going to set off another print and see if we can get it a little bit better. I'm going to change a couple things. I'll show you guys exactly what we're doing. So right now we're actually printing at a lower resolution than what we normally do. This printer can go down to like 0.1, and we're actually doing printing at 100. So we're actually at like FDM basically at this point. But it is kind of cool that I can print on zero ability there. And now I'm going to have to go wash my hands because I'm dealing with this on bare hands. I'll be right back, guys. All right. You are very welcome, Santana. Hopefully that'll help you in your printing adventures. But like I said on the TikTok, you want to do that for every bottle of resin. That's probably the best thing to do when you're printing. So take for example, these are 2 brand new bottles of resin that I need to test out. And even though they are the same, they are created, have the same dates on them. I'm going to calibrate both of these bottles of resin because one might be different than the other. Let's say, even though these have the same dates, 2/2/21, they could be 2 different batches on 2/2/21. So little things can vary. But I will say, if you have it within the second, it's probably going to be okay. Like, you can probably print. So is it necessary to do that? Not really, but I just do it as a kind of precaution, I guess, so to say. But again, that's if you want to be really thorough about it. What just happened? Everything just crashed. That was weird. Let's make sure that that is still connected. Yes, USB drive is still connected. We're going to go ahead and delete that. Delete that. Okay. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you guys exactly what we're going to change here. I'm going to try and explain as best as I could to what we're going to do. So again, we have both of these exposures, and really what I can do is I can do a side-by-side comparison. So here's another thing that is nice about this exposure is it's a little bit thicker than this one. So again, really the major issue is the sides here, and the sides here, they tend to not print. So that might leave some stuff in the vat. All this other stuff seems to always print. And again, you can print this on supports if you really wanted to, but really they're meant to print flat on the build plate. Supports are, if you want to, I guess, kind of try and tune your supports, you can try and do it that way. I don't think it'll really work, but hey, if you wanna think that it does, have at it. Let's go ahead and center this. All right. And then basically what we're going to do is we are going to change the settings on this. So we already changed our bottom layer count to 5. Our exposure time is at 16. I could play with that. It seems like we're pretty good. I can probably turn it down to 14 and see how that goes. This 75, I think, is what's really killing me on the burn-in. I don't think it needs that much, so we're going to do like a normal... should I do 60? What is our normal? Let's go and check some of these other resins and see what they're at. Normal is going to be 30. So that's quite a difference. So, right. Let's do 45. Try that. That should be perfectly fine. I don't think there's any reason for us to do 75. I know our exposure time is really, really high. But let's go ahead and try 12 seconds. See how that is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to load up a couple prints here. 0.5. 0.05 is what we need. Yeah, that's right. 0.050, right? 0.050. Okay, so 50. All right, so we're actually going to bring this up a little bit, and hold on. Forgot to put access on the print. So let me give you access to it. Yes, share. Okay, you should be able to access that now. Sorry about that. I didn't put open access on it. Where are we? Frozen XP Finder. Okay. Now we should be good. All right. So we're going to leave the light off to lay. That's quite a lot for it. We probably don't need that stuff, but we're just going to play with some settings here. Basically, what we're doing is we're going to see if we can try and tone this down a little bit and have it a little bit better. So we're going to change that from 75 and 16 to 12 and 45, or 45 and 12, and see where that goes. So we're going to go ahead and slice that. And I'm basically going to label it as such. So when I go to save this, we're going to do USB, and we're going to do XP 12-45. We're going to do that. Okay. I probably should have put 5 in there, but we'll leave the base layers at 5. I think that'll be good enough. I have a feeling that the company that sent me this information is kind of overdoing it, in my opinion, but we'll see. Hold on, let's move you guys over here so I can see. Hi, Matt from South Africa. Thanks for the awesome channel. Well, thanks for being here, bud. I think I talked to you on my last stream about you being in South Africa. Yeah. Yeah, thanks for stopping in, saying hi. Probably going to do some more of these, maybe over the weekend. If I got some time, I'll do one a little bit earlier, because I am more of a night owl than I am anything. So usually I'm getting out of work at this time. Well, a little bit before. Okay, so we did one at 12:45. So we're going to do one at 16. And we're going to do one at 16 and 45. So now we're going to go ahead and do that, because like I said, I think 75 is overdoing it. That seems quite high, even though, like I said, the exposure is a little bit higher than normal. It's almost 3 times as high. I don't think it needs that high of an exposure time, but we'll find out real quick, because we'll do the lower one first. We'll print that and basically go from there. So all right, so now that we have our files, we're going to go ahead and disconnect here. And we're going to go ahead and put the USB stick in and hit print. Let that load for a second. Okay, and we'll do 12:45 first and see how that goes. So that should be, it says 20 minutes. So we'll see how long that takes. But yeah, that's really what you got to work on when you're doing different resins, because even though these resins are already set up, you know, like we can probably print off of that. But the issue is, and the issue I have with people that use the calibration cheat sheets, which those might work, but most of the time they don't for a lot of people. So the issue that I tend to find is it all depends on where you live. So while my exposure time for, say, an Elegoo resin is 3 seconds and 45 seconds for the bottom, with 5 layers at 50 microns, or I'm sorry, at 50 detail. While that might be like the layer height is 50 millimeters, 0.50. While that might work for me, you know, somebody who lives closer to the Rocky Mountains or lives in the mountains, they are higher up in air. So the air is thinner. So liquid reacts differently. And the same goes for people who live below sea level. Then you also have the fact that, you know, one day my print might work perfectly fine, but if I don't have my AC on and I don't have my house climate controlled or anything like that, or like if you're people who are printing in a garage, for me, temperature is going to fluctuate here. You know, I live in Chicago, so temperature fluctuates all the time. We went from 92 degrees in the morning to 76 at night. So, And then we went from, that 92 with 102% humidity basically to 76 and almost 10% humidity. So with that, the humidity is going to change how the resin is kind of liquefied a little bit too. So all those little factors are going to play into what you're printing. Again, those exposure cheat sheets will get you to a printable spot, but from there on, you should probably tune it. So most of the time, I'd say for RGB printers, if you choose between 6 and 7 seconds, you're going to be printing pretty good. For monochrome screens, anywhere from 2 seconds to 3 seconds, you're going to be printing pretty good. But again, if you want that little bit better detail, you're going to want to fine tune it. So, you might be actually a better print at 1.5 or 1.8, I mean, than you are a 2.0. So you never really know that. So I heat up my resin and build plate and found it works very well. Yeah, so that's one thing. A lot of people who are used to dealing with regular resin, like epoxy resin, heating it up actually makes it more like thinned out, and it prints a lot better. And you'll notice that, like, if you use like lower quality resins like Anycubic, Elegoo, eSun, those type of resins, compared to like a Monicure 3D, a QTS, or a 3DRS, you'll notice that their resins are a lot smoother looking and just they pour smooth compared to those resins, because the Chinese resins have a lot more chemicals in it. So they do react quite differently compared to higher end resins. So, and the downside of that to some people is higher quality resins are going to have more exposure time than lower quality resins. So, and that goes back to one of the reasons why I will never ever use water washable resin. This is basically my last bottle, and this company is trying to get me on to the water washable resin on their stuff. But as of right now, it hasn't been good. But I'll be honest, I just kind of threw some numbers in there and went on my merry way. I didn't actually calibrate it. But now that we got a good calibration print, we're going to go ahead and do that and get that calibrated so we can see how good that print is. But water washable, that stuff is still super brittle. So I'm not a big fan of it. But again, with the Chicago weather where it fluctuates consistently on a daily basis, water washable just does not hold up. Like most of the prints that I have here are all regular resin based, and none of them have issues. All my water washable have been tossed out already because they've cracked or they've broken into a million pieces because I dropped them from here to my desk, and this print, funny enough, if I can get it off, this print dropped from like, that's 6.5 feet down to my cement floor. And I think it did like one piece of damage on here. Yeah, it ripped off one little piece of hair on it. That's it. And this is a harder resin. I will say that though. It's 3DRS hard. And we printed that, and it came out very, very well, the detail and everything. But man, I was surprised to see that it dropped on the floor quite far, and it was still good. Like, I was worried about it. So, but we're definitely going to try and reprint this because the supports that I had on it were just terrible, and it does not look good with those supports. But yeah, so that's just there's a print that falls. That one is definitely not going to break. That's some engineering stuff. So as you can see, nothing happened to that one. It's a vase. So anyway, sorry I'm talking everybody's ear off. I mean, I guess I should be doing that because well, we're gonna be. I'm gonna be doing that. I think I lost that. Yeah, we did. Oh well, it's not like I'm gonna use Next Dent resin anyways. So let's go ahead and stop the screen. I think I'm gonna be on here for about another 15 minutes, and then I'm just gonna get off, and I'll still be around. So if anybody needs me, I'll still be here, but I'll just be doing other stuff. So. You are very welcome, Vaughn London. Vaughn London. It's a very interesting name there, bud. Let's go back to the settings and just make sure that that is good. Because even though I did set it, I don't think it stayed to have it shareable. Restricted. No, I do not want this restricted. Anyone with a link. I guess that'll be good. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, what's up, Kieran? I don't know how long you've been here, but listen to me jabber off. I'm quite curious to know who's watching on my Twitch though. I don't even know how to get into my Twitch stream. Channel. Oh, there we go. I don't even think I can see who is watching anyway. It won't show. Oh, there we go. The profile image can take you to the channel home. All right, cool. Yeah, I don't know. I wish it showed though. There's no way. Users in chat. So it's just people who are chatting, not people who are, stalking in a way. I should change the name on that though. It's got my old thing. Hey there, non-fam, just lurking in the background as always. Hey, that's perfectly fine. If you guys are okay with me talking your ear off, I have no problem with you guys lurking and sort of learning how I process things. Not saying it'll work for everybody, but hey. So, for those who are just here, now you guys might be able to see this, but let's see if we can turn this off. So as you can see, that's like darker here and then it's lighter here. Yeah, that's because if you saw this print, I'll try and take a picture of it. There's more pigmentation in his head than there is anything else. So what happened is while he was printing, all the pigmentation settled at the bottom. And yeah, that's the problem with these glow-in-the-dark ones is the pigmentation settled at the bottom. And so the entire print is half and half or 3/4. Yeah. So there's more of the mix in his head because, like I said, it settled down at the bottom. That's the problem with printing that stuff. So we need to maybe like print it and then stir it up halfway through or something like that, just to make sure that we got a good mix going on. But yeah, pretty cool stuff. Definitely not pocket friendly in terms of price. That's $185 a bottle. That bottle of resin is $185. Yep, I said it. $185. It's definitely not the most expensive resin I've had, but it's up there. For specialty resins, it's definitely the most expensive, for sure. Well, specialty in terms of color. I've had engineering resin, which is, that was $275 a bottle. It was sent to me by my customer, and I had to send it back with them because they did not want me to keep that. It was some special nylon mix, and we printed some parts that they needed engineered for. And so they sent me the file, they sent me the resin, and said, all right, you go ahead and you print it and then send us all the stuff back. And I'm like, even a bottle of resin? They're like, absolutely, even a bottle of resin. So I don't know what resin it was. It didn't have any name on it. So I have no idea what it is. But yeah, they're like, just be careful with it. Try not to use too much because it's $275. So, it could be BS. I don't know. But it definitely printed just as high as this stuff. So it was at 15 seconds a layer. So that's like buying a new printer. That literally is a brand new printer. For the price of that bottle of resin, I can go out and get a Voxel Lab Proxima for the same price. Actually, I can even get it for $10 less. So the Proxima is $170 right now on Amazon. So, yeah, a bottle of resin or a printer. But I did not pay for that. So thankfully, that's the upside to that. But I don't see myself getting that in the future. At first, I thought it was like $80. And then when I looked at the price again, because somebody was asking me about where I got it from, and I went on the website to the place that sent it to me, and I look at it and I'm like, oh, yeah, it's only $85. So it is a little bit more pricey than resin, but, you get some cool color. And then I look at it again, and that was 250 grams for $85. And then I'm like, that's not what they sent me. They sent me like a kilogram or a kilogram and a quarter. And so I click on it, and yeah, it was $180. So you guys can find it on matterhackers.com. If you don't believe me, it's called Licrete Hazard Glow on matterhackers.com. So we'll do some showing off on TikTok of it and everything, but I got a couple more prints, but I wanted to do some more exposure on it to see if the insane amount is really, really needed on that. So imagine what it cost me in South Africa with shipping. Yeah. So it'd probably be like $250 to get that to you, if you can even get it to you, because, the whole importing of resin is just, it's hazardous material to a lot of countries. So it's really, really hard to ship that stuff out. Let's see here. Don't sell your shell. Sell short. I really want that STL, but I'm still a noob. Can you explain where and how I get it? I know you did your part and share, but I don't know how to do mine. So it should just be a direct download. Let me see if I can get that set up here. Let me go ahead and copy it, and then we'll do like a fake run. I'll have to log out of my account and see if we can get that going. Drive. Okay, let's go to printer stuff. XP Finder. Oops, that's not what I want. Get link. Copy link. Done. All right, so let's go ahead and sign out. All right. So we're going to do a mock-up here for you. All right. So we're going to do share a screen. All right. We're going to put that over here, and we're going to take the link that I posted, paste it in here, and hopefully it'll let me do this. Let's see. So this will come out like this. So you'll see Frozen XP Finder, and then you'll see this little download icon. That's all you have to do. Just download it. Once you download it, download anyway. And on Chrome here, there you go. You're downloading the STL. But we're going to cancel that because we don't need it. And then once it's done, it'll go into your downloads folder, which on my computer says downloads. And then this is where it'll come up right there. Frozen XP Finder. And that's pretty much how you do it. That's all. Super simple. Assignment. Okay. So that's pretty much it. The other thing that I can do is I can also directly share it from Frozen, but I mean, it's basically, they use Google Drive as well, so it's the same stuff. So, so cool. You can see it print. All right, guys. So it is 1:15 in the morning my time. Like I said, I'll still be around, but I got some other stuff I need to do. I got a bunch of stuff I got to move, and I'm not gonna have you guys watch me basically tear apart my whole setup here to try and get some of the stuff printing. But yeah, basically we're gonna change out the resin out of that. We're going to take the print off of this. We're going to finish the print with that. We're going to load up the exposure finder on the Frozen Sonic Mighty. And we might fire up some of the other resin printers. I'm not sure. I really don't have anything else to print. We are going to set up a print on the FDM printer, though. So, yeah, basically, like I said, it's 1:15 right now, and we're going to call it a night for right now. Hopefully, I can try and get one of these live streams going in the daytime. It's just really hard. So, 7:15 a.m. there. Wow. Like your T-shirt. Funny enough, this T-shirt was made specifically for me, and my print farm of Ender 3s that I used to take care of when I worked for TH3D Studio. You can actually purchase this t-shirt, I believe, still through th3dstudio.com. So if you guys really, really like this, everybody seems to get a good kick out of it because it's absolutely true for, FDM printing. I don't have nearly anywhere near as many failures as I have in the 3 years of printing than I have in the, month or maybe 2 months of FDM printing. So that just goes to show you how easy it is to print on resin printing. So, oh gosh, typical Ender 3. Yep. I'm now on my third one. My beds are due to come from them. It's in the UK. Yeah, and we're having some similar issues to the old Ender 3 issues on the BQ-B1 SE, but I'm going to play around with that and see if maybe we can get it working a little bit better than what it has been, because right now I've only gotten 2 successful prints, and those are the test prints. Basically, if I put anything more than 1 print in the center, it doesn't really print. And even when it is in the center, it prints nice on one side and too close on the other. So yeah, that's basically where we're going to leave that at and tinker around with it and see what's going on. But as of right now, I'm not too happy about that printer and the way that it's producing things. So again, I thank you guys for joining the stream, whichever platform you guys are on, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch even. I don't really care too much about Twitch or anything, but if you guys are new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the notification, and that'll let you know when we're doing lives. I will let you guys know that we are going to do a FDM printer giveaway. I have an Ender 5 Pro. I'm going to be doing a worldwide giveaway. So stay tuned and keep an eye out for that video. More or less what it's going to be is you have to comment whatever the keyword's going to be, and you have to be a subscriber to the YouTube channel. I don't really care if you're going to be a subscriber just for that alone. It doesn't really matter to me, but we will be having that. Probably set this up either tomorrow or this weekend to get that going and basically go from there. On top of that, we'll be having another giveaway added on to that with some filament courtesy of BQ as well. So I haven't ironed out the details on that, but it'll probably be sometime next week. So keep an eye out for both of those. And again, thank you guys for watching the stream and listen to me talk about nonsense or maybe something important that you didn't know about. Either way, hope you guys learned something in some way, either about myself or printing in general. So until next time, guys, happy printing.